So what must have happened at that dinner on Thursday before Good Friday? That is, at the Last Supper. We learned the story this year at our Sunday school, and we thought we should show you what we thought happened, what we felt, and what we learned. Anyway, before all that, who are we? This is Bartholomew. He was the son of Ptolemy and one of Jesus' not so well-known disciples. Some people say he was also the disciple called Nathaniel. He once asked Philip, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" This is Andrew. He likes to tell people that he was Jesus' first disciple. He's a fisherman, like his brother Simon Peter. They make their living fishing the Sea of Galilee. When he realized who Jesus was, he immediately went to his brother Simon and said, "We have found the Messiah." This is Judas. He's very familiar to us. He was very close to Jesus as well. He was important to all the disciples too because he was the treasurer of the group. He had great hopes for Jesus. He believed that Jesus was going to be a great leader and get rid of the Romans. This is Simon Peter. The first time he met Jesus, Jesus called him Peter, which means a rock. He knows that Jesus is the Messiah, but sometimes he forgets and doubts him. He really wanted to be able to walk on water just like Jesus did that time in Galilee. But just as he nearly reached Jesus, he was afraid and began to sink. He wishes he could be as strong as Jesus and not feel insecure. This is John. He is the brother of James and the son of Zebedee. He was one of Jesus' first disciples. Like his brother James, he is a fisherman. He has seen many wonderful things that Jesus has done. He even saw him bring Jairus' daughter back to life. This is Thomas. He is not one of the more well-known disciples, but he has spoken out one or two times. For instance, just in the past few days, Jesus decided they had to return to Jerusalem. Many of the disciples thought Jesus was crazy, but Thomas said, "Let us also go that we may die with him."
I'm James.
This is James. He's John's older brother. The one we met earlier. He was a fisherman with John, Peter, and Andrew. Like John, he's very close to Jesus. Once Jesus called John and James the sons of thunder. Jesus knows that they can get a little angry sometimes about some things. He was always a little doubtful, just like Thomas. He was a tax collector. People do not like tax collectors. And he was not a very good person before Jesus called him. He collected more than he had to, lived the rich life. He was amazed when Jesus ate in his house. What a wonderful thing that was. This is Philip. He lives in the same fishing village, Bethsaida, as Andrew, Simon, James, and John. He knows a lot about the scripture, and he knows that Jesus was one of the prophets foretold. He doesn't seem to always understand what Jesus is trying to tell them, though. Anyway, those are the disciples. And here we are on that day, on that faithful Passover day. And here is Jesus. This is the day of the unleavened bread on which the Passover lamb is sacrificed. Peter, John, go and make preparations for us to eat the Passover.
Every
As you enter the city, a man carrying a jar of water will meet you. Follow him to the house that he enters and say to the owner of the house, the teacher asks, where is the guest room where I may eat the Passover with my disciples? He will show you a large room upstairs all furnished. Make preparations there.
ശരി കർത്താവേ.
So, Peter, John, and the rest of the disciples prepared for the Passover. Later that day, Jesus entered first. And sat himself down and prayed.
കാലി എഴുവാൻ ഇവിടെ ആരും ഇല്ലേ? സർവൻസ് എല്ലാവരും എവിടെ?
നല്ല പണിയാ. നിങ്ങൾ രണ്ടും കൊള്ളാം. യേശു പറഞ്ഞ എല്ലാം ഞാൻ ചെയ്തു. Nothing more, nothing less.
എന്നോടൊന്നും പറയണ്ട, അത് ഹൗസ് ഓണറിന്റെ ജോലിയാണ്. പിന്നെ ഈ വൃത്തികെട്ട കാലുകൊണ്ടാണ് കഴിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത്. യോഹന്നാനും പത്രോസ്, നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എല്ലാവരുടെയും കാല് കഴുകാൻ പറ്റില്ല? അപ്പൊ ഇത് നിനക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും.
പിന്നെ എനിക്കൊരു പണിയുണ്ട്. ഞാൻ ജോലി പൈസ നോക്കുന്ന ആളല്ലേ. മത്തായിക്ക് എന്താ ചെയ്താൽ? മത്തായി ടാക്സ് കളക്ടറല്ലേ. അവന്റെ കാലിൽ കഴിയാൻ കുഴപ്പമില്ലല്ലോ.
പിന്നെ
The
അത്
disciples,
സർവന്റിന്റെ പണിയാണ്.
just as all the disciples said, all their opinions were that only servants should wash their feet. They all rushed to sit, so that all of them would get place. They were rushing for place. Just then, as we all know, Jesus removed his outer garment, wrapped a towel around his waist, poured water into a basin, and in the ultimate show of servanthood, started to wash the disciples' feet.